people into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honourable
You human
on the point of order.
Honourable they are not picking our calls. They made up their mind.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what's the blood.
I have fought very firmly. Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
You're welcome back to the Sports Personality Show on Atlantic Television Network, and joining me on today's edition for the show to take a look at the life of Yannick Sinner, Italy's first men's tennis world #1, is Miracle Onyekazi. Miracle, good morning to you, and welcome to another exciting edition of Sports Personality Show.
Yeah, good morning, Kingsley. It's always nice to be here to talk and dissect sports. And knowing that we're talking about a promising young tennis player, Yannick Sinner, gives me more joy to be here this morning.
All right, impressive one. The man, of course, has been so promising in his career. He's done a lot, for himself. He's been challenging, the big names in tennis, and that's why we're taking a look at him. Currently, he's the world #1, courtesy of his performance in the French Open. And at his age, becoming a world #1, winning a Grand Slam for himself, as well as other, exciting performance. That's why, of course, we want to take a look at Yannick Sinner this morning. Yannick Sinner, originally from San Candido in Italy, has become a celebrity in the world of tennis, and thanks to his extraordinary talent and performances. His career began to take off. His career began to take off when he won the prestigious next generation ATP finals in 2019, becoming the first Italian to do so. This success brought him international recognition and attracted worldwide media attention. Additionally, Sinner has also impressed at Grand Slam tournaments, reaching the quarterfinals of the French Open in 2020. His power, agility, and impeccable on-court technique have attracted the admiration of tennis fans around the world. In addition to his exceptional tennis skills, Sinner also appreciated for his humble attitude, determination, and hard work ethics, which has made him one of the most promising youngsters in world tennis. Miracle, what do you make of Yannick Sinner, his early life, and talking about his junior career as a tennis player?
Yeah, Yannick Sinner, over the course of his career so far, he's been very, very good. He's been a promising young tennis player that everyone has been putting an eye on since he started his professional career as a tennis player. We know that he is a young player that came from, he was actually born in San Candido, Italy, over there in Italy with his parents. And his parents were quite encouraging to him to be a sports participant, or to involve himself in sporting activities. But unfortunately for him, over there in Italy where he was born, tennis was not so a known sport where he was born. He participated in sports like skiing over there in Italy, which was not what he intended at that time to do, but because of the will I say, popularity of the sports, he just had to participate. And he participated in skiing at a very young age, at age 8 to 12, over there in San Candido, Italy, before he actually started playing tennis in Italy. Yeah, he actually had to move from where he was staying, where he was born, to another city in Italy for him to be able to train, yeah, and become a professional tennis player at that time. And it was actually a good journey for him to leave where he grew up, to live to another community or another city to practice tennis. And it actually did a good, well, let's say it actually made him the kind of tennis player he is today. Yeah, Yannick Sinner, over the years, he's shown his worth. Some people might not know him at this point, but he's actually made a statement. He's actually the world #1 now, courtesy of Novak Djokovic retiring from the French Open. Yeah. And when he was asked, I watched an interview after his game, his quarterfinal game, when he was asked about being the first Italian to be the world #1. He said it's a good feat for him, but he was not so pleased that Novak Djokovic had to retire for him to achieve this, that he was hoping to achieve this on a higher note. So he showed that symbol of, let's say, honesty, because he's a very honest person and he's a very calm personality, and that has brought him this far so far in his career. It's a good one for Yannick Sinner. If he continues like this, I see him doing great things in the future.
Impressive one for Yannick Sinner. Of course, that was how the man, of course, grew up loving the sports skiing before he went down to, of course, compete in tennis. And still talking about Yannick Sinner, we told he was born on the 16th of August 2001 to help Peter and St. Linda Sinner in Germany. He grew up in the town of Sixten in Dolomites, the family hometown where his father and mother work as a chef and the waitress at a Sky Lodge, respectively. He has a brother named Mark, and Sinner began both skiing and playing tennis at the age 3. He was one of Italy's top junior skiers from 8 to 12 years old, winning a national championship in giant slalom at the age of 8 and earning a national runner-up at the age of 12. But let's take a look at his junior career before we take a look at what he's been able to do professionally. Now, at the age of 3, Sinner began playing tennis and skiing. He won a giant slalom national championship at the age of 8, just like we told you, and was Italy's top junior skier. He quitted tennis to take up skiing when he was 7. Football and skiing were followed by tennis, and the 13-year-old opted for tennis over football and skiing to train with Riccardo Petti and Massimo Sartori. He relocated to Bordighero. Luca Djokovic, his coach, welcomed him, and later he trained continuously. His ITF junior circuit career began in 2016, and though he had only participated in a few high-level competitions, his junior rating was 133, and Sinner went professional in 2018, finished the year in 551 place. But before we take a look at his professional career, Miracle, we understand that there was this love for him when it has to do with skiing, tennis, and football. But at some point, he has to give up, the two of them, and have to go down to tennis.
Yeah. He was actually involved in those 3 sports. But I feel that him being majorly involved in skiing is because of the environment where he grew up, where he found himself in. The environment was well known for producing professional skiers, and at that time in his community, that was the only major sports that a lot of youths and a lot of teenagers were involved in. So he actually was involved in skiing, and he actually wanted to make it to the pros. But unfortunately for him, he had to quit or should I say drop skiing for some time. Because he actually left tennis and went into skiing professionally at junior level. But he later noticed that he had love for playing tennis. He started playing tennis at the age of 3. So he actually embarked on that journey. And we've seen that where he's come so far because of him making that decision to drop football and skiing and choose tennis. And we've seen what tennis has done for him and what tennis has done for his family so far in his career.
Will you say that, the environment one grows up, has a very high rate of influence for who you are or what you become in life, based on what we're seeing for Yannick Sinner?
Yeah, definitely. I can remember Cristiano Ronaldo used to make used to reference his career to when he was little, when his dad didn't have so much, but his dad always took him to play football in a local pitch, a local community right there in Lisbon, where he always played football. And it was there him and his friend were scouted. Yes, but unfortunately his friend didn't make it to the pro. And he actually said his friend was very, very good, but his friend didn't make it to the pro. So definitely our environment has a lot to play in how or in the future.
Now we're shaped
in life. Yeah, in life. The environment you find yourself has a very, very big role to play.
So in that sense, will you say people, young players, in England, young players, in Brazil, of course, Brazil is a footballing nation. When you grow up there, there's that high tendency that, you definitely become a footballer, a very, very good footballer. Will you say most of them are not really doing what they're supposed to do in life, at the moment?
No, I wouldn't say that. But we've seen a lot of because the competition in Brazil is very, very outstanding. Sports is one of their major, let's say, not occupation precisely, but their major involvement. Everybody wants to go into sport, especially in England. Actually, the sporting world actually even helps in their economy. So every young teenager, every young boy and girl actually wants to go into one sporting activity or the other. Because right now, currently, what sports does in an environment, or what does in the whole England as a whole. It helps in their economy. It helps in civilization. So now the sporting world is a global world. Everybody wants to involve into sports. So definitely, yes, I feel like Yannick Sinner was also one of those teenagers that dreamt on becoming a sportsman at a very, very young age, and his environment actually helped him in achieving this goal.
All right, so we're looking at Yannick Sinner, how, of course, the environment he grew up helped him, of course, to be who he is today and to be able to achieve what he's been able to achieve so far. And still talking about Yannick Sinner, some impressive record, of course, you will say for the man when you take a look at all he's been able to achieve, for himself so far. And that's why we're taking a look at, the influence of his environment, based on what he's been able to do for himself as it is. We told you that, Sinner defeated Alex de Minaur to claim the 2019 Next Gen Finals, ATP Finals title. And he came in 7th, 8th, for the year when it has to do with the ranking. And then the ATP newcomer of the year. And the 2020 Australian Open was the first Grand Slam match that Sinner won. He was defeated. He defeated David Coffin in Rotterdam to win his first match in the 3rd round for the Rome Masters. He defeated number 6 as Adens, the Tsitsipas, the quarterfinalists at the French Open since Rafa Nadal in 2015. 2005 was Yannick Sinner. The 2020 Sofia Open was the site of his first ATP triumph. Vezike Pospesi will, of course, competed in that one. Yannick Sinner placed 37th finishing in 2020. And in 2021, he triumphed in the Great Ocean Road Open. He won 10 games in a row at Australian Open on the opening round of 2021 at the National Triumph. Miami Open, the inaugural ATP Masters 1000 final. And in the end, Hobasuska prevailed. He attained the career high world number 17 ranking as at 2021. So we saw, sudden rise, for him when it has to do with his latest ranking ever since, because he burst into limelight. That was in 2018, 2019. The man has actually gotten a steady progress down to 2021, where he was at least well ranked at world number 17.
Yeah. It's not been all rosy for him, over his career, It's not been all rosy for him, but he's actually been going through the process as a tennis player. He's been evolving. He's played with a lot of experience and a lot of very good tennis player over the course of his career. He's played the likes of Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal, Alexander Demar, Stefano Tsitsipas, and all those guys have actually added to his experience in the game so far. It's been a gradual process for him. We know that his first title was when he won the next gen.
Yes.
Yeah, the next gen over there. And so far he's been doing well for himself. Since then he's won 13 ATP titles, ATP Tour. His recent one was when he won the Miami Open not so long ago. And he's been doing well since then. So I still see him doing great things for himself, although in the Grand Slams, he's been reaching the semis, the quarterfinals. He actually won the Australian Open, the Australian and the Grand Slam. So this year, so he's been doing, he's achieved a lot for himself yet, and he's still a young player. He's not yet 23. August 16 this year, he will turn 23. He's actually still 22. So he's actually been tipped as one of those next gen to take over the likes of Roger Federer, which he actually claimed is his idol, because he actually made reference to Roger Federer as his idol in tennis. So he's been tipped to take over from Roger Federer, which is actually a big shoe to fill. But if he continues like this, I see him doing great things for himself.
Impressive one. We hope the man continues to do great things, for himself. From 2021 to 2024, it's been a very huge progress, for the man, Yannick Sinner. And I tell you, he's still putting up that impressive performance. It was just hosted out, the day before by the man Carlos Alcaraz. But I think the man is still, on his A game. Maybe he will bounce back, from that one. But we're going to take a look at, his best shots. Even though he's still young, talking about Yannick Sinner, Sinner is already known for having one of the most powerful backhand in tennis. It's been an impressive one, of course, for him when he has to do with the backhand, and the backhand seems to be, his best shot whenever he's in action.
Yes. He's been tipped, or he's been given the title for having one of the best backhands so far and the best forehands in tennis, which is actually a very, very good thing. So his opponents are always looking towards or having the caution when playing with him because of his backhand. And we've seen that over the course of his career, he's achieved a lot. Because of having that very, very strong backhand, which a lot of people have been looking into. It was even talked about in the ATPtour.com on how he's been able to achieve a lot and having good shots with his backhand. So it's definitely something to look towards to. If he continues like this, maybe he might even be able to outshine one of the best tennis players with their service and with their shots, with the likes of Rafael Nadal, Novak Djokovic, and the rest. So having this kind of backhand at this kind of young age is something to look towards for him.
Don't you think, as time progresses, it's something so many tennis players, of course, might get used to in terms of playing him?
Yes, definitely. They are going to be looking towards that and working towards that as well. But for now, he still has to continue to build himself and to work hard so as to generate enough power in his backhand also, because he was actually said to have one of the highest shots with his backhand, which is a good thing. If he continues to work on himself, I don't see him losing that grip on how he's made that his backhand so strong. Instead, he's going to improve on making it stronger.
All right, sir. Let's see how far the man goes in a way in terms of using his backhand. Let's stay away from the backhand shots as we take a look at his achievements so far. Sinner has won 13 singles titles on the ATP tour. He won his first title in Sofia in 2020 and added his second at the start of 2021 in Melbourne. He also reached his first Masters 1000 final in Miami, losing out to Vesuskas in the final. Sinner added 3 more titles in 2021, winning in Washington, Sofia for his second time, and then in Antwerp. He added a 6th title by winning in Omagh in 2032. He won 4 titles in 2023, first in Montpellier in February 2023, followed by Toronto in August, and then Beijing and Vienna in October. He began 2024 with his maiden Grand Slam title at the Australian Open before backing that up by winning the Rotterdam Open in his first tournament since becoming a Grand Slam champion. But first, 13 ATP titles for the man before getting to win a Grand Slam.
Yeah. That shows the progress that he's done so far. That shows his progression in tennis. We actually know that he won his first title back then in 2020, and since then, over the last 3 to 4 years, he's been winning titles year in, year out. Even this year already, he actually has a Grand Slam, the Australian Open, and he actually has an ordinary ATP title, which is actually a good thing for himself. You see that he's been progressing, winning your first singles title in 2020, and already in 2024 you already have 13 titles to show for yourself. It's a big thing. It's a big achievement for him. It's a very big achievement for him. We know that over the course of his career so far, he's won over 200 and something games. Yeah, 200 and something games since turning pro as a professional tennis player, and he's generated a lot of funds by winning those games. And if he continues like this, I still see him doing more for himself, except he's being hampered by injury. But I don't see that being happening right now, because he's shown so far to not be an injury-prone player. He's not retired from tennis games so much, just in few occasions. So I still see him doing well for himself.
The next thing I won the 2024 Miami Open presented by Ital, a Masters 1000 event, was dominant throughout, winning his semi-final against world number 4 Medvedev in a 6-1, 6-2 victory before sweeping past Dimitrov in a 6-3, 6-1 victory in the final. And of course, it was really an impressive one. So 2024 has been an impressive year for the man. He's won a Grand Slam. He's won about 2 or 3 ATP titles, the Rotterdam Open, as well as I think the Miami Open as well. So it's been a roller coaster ride for him this year. But what do you make of it in the French Open? We saw him, of course, being taken out by Carlos Alcaraz after having an impressive run, in the competition. What do you make of the season for Jannik Sinner?
Yeah, so far this year, he's actually been doing great for himself. But unfortunately for him, he played another young, promising youngster in Carlos Alcaraz, the man who has been tipped to take over the shine from Rafael Nadal, his fellow Spaniard. So him losing to Carlos Alcaraz, it will be something that he will go back and look into it and work harder on how to come back stronger.
Yeah, there's been a little rivalry between him and Carlos.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, definitely. They've played a lot in recent times, with him taking some wins and Carlos Alcaraz taking some also. So him losing to Carlos Alcaraz should not be something he should moan about, but something he should go back to the drawing board and work on himself. It was actually a very, very tough game. Yes, Carlos Alcaraz actually won that game in 5 sets. And it was not an easy run or an easy win for Carlos Alcaraz. It was a very, very tough game that needed the last set decider. And it actually went in the favor of Carlos Alcaraz. But I still see him coming stronger in the next ATP Tour on the next Grand Slam title this year.
All right, at this point, we'll take a short break, and when we'll come back from this break, we'll bring you the latest revolving, the man Yannick Sinner. He's been very, very impressive, in his performance, and that's what we're taking a look at what he's been able to do for himself. We'll be right back after the short break. Please stay with us.
Telling him not to counterpunch. Telling him not to counterpunch.
and down like this now.
I hope nobody carry belle.
Why you ask, oh?
Because this road where they see so, it no guarantee safe delivery.
We just dey vote for government, but we not get good governance.
At all.
Roads so e no dey, light o usa, the infrastructure nko e come turn to be forbidden fruit for the city.
Corruption, spoil everything. Hello?
Hello, madam. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mrs. Ayeni. I am calling from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs.
Okay. Okay, I've been expecting your call.
Madam, remove this your phone from loudspeaker.
No vex, now my phone be like that. Hello?
Are you there?
I hear, I'm hearing you.
Yes. We saw a copy of your invoice for computers, printers, and laptops.
Yes. Are you working on them now?
Ma, the prices you quoted are way too high now.
Madam, sorry, please don't cost.
We found the laptop you said is 1.8 million naira for 600,000 naira.
Hello?
Now my body network there.
I can't hear you. Network is bad.
Madam, we can hear you. Continue.
Hello, I can't hear you. We call you back.
That behavior not good now.
Madam, now this kind behavior they kill our country. You suppose do things differently, make Nigeria for better.
Corruption not in my country. This message is brought to you by the Atn Saturday Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
I don't get a lot.
Boy, they won't booga me small. They say, man, give them bribe. I say, nothing. Okay, now, we'll go block later. You remember that contract we will do that time now? They don't pay.
But first, you see the house rent with the old since. We go first call caretaker, take the money, slap am.
Beg, see, you know, say I get annual levy why they pay for club. Where me and boys they shark beer na house, I supposed pay that one. You remember say me and tell you I go buy you motor. I go buy am na.
Okay, they pay you money now. We don't they beg caretaker? Why would they beg landlord, old man, and they agree give us time. Money can't come now. You won't divert am. You said na corruption. Corruption, not in my house and not in my country.
Sure?
Sure.
Corruption not in my country.
This message is brought to you by the Atn Saturday Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
You're welcome back. It's the Sports Extra. This is Sports Personality Show on Atlantic Television Network. Of course, I will bring you the latest about the man Yannick, the current world #1 in the ATP tennis court of his performance at the French Open. Let's take a look at the best performance for Yannick Sinner at the Grand Slam. Sinner went all the way at the 2024 Australian Open, beating Daniel Medvedev in the final to win his first Grand Slam single title. Prior to this, the Italian reached the semi-finals of Wimbledon in 2023. He has also reached the quarterfinals at the Grand Slam events on 4 occasions. He made the last 8 at Roland Garros in 2020 when he beat Alexander Zverev before losing to Rafa Nadal. Sinner also reached the quarters in the Australian Open at the start of 2022, losing out to Stefanos Tsitsipas. And then in June 2022, he reached the last 8 at Wimbledon, where he lost to Novak Djokovic in 5 sets after leading by 2-0. At the US Open in 2022, he reached the quarterfinals again, at this time holding match points against the eventual champions Carlos Alcaraz before going down in a stunning 5-setter in that one. So, Miracle, it's been an impressive one when it has to do with his prowess, in the Grand Slam tournaments. We saw him get to the finals and winning this year. And in other tournaments as well, in other Grand Slam tournaments, he has also battled with the likes of Alexander Zverev, Daniel Medvedev, even the great Rafa Nadal as well. And we've always seen that, a particular, high spirit in him whenever he's playing these players. What do you make of his performance so far in the Grand Slam tournaments?
Yeah, he's actually done so well playing in the Grand Slams while representing in the Grand Slams. He's been a familiar face facing those, will I say, other world-class players like Zverev, Stefanos Tsitsipas, the likes of Rafa Nadal. He's been a familiar face in facing those players in the Grand Slam because he always reaches the quarter-final and the semi-final stages. Although most like sometimes he might not be able to go through to the finals, but he's actually shown that he can compete with those big boys. He's always there in the quarter-final or the semi-final stages. So he's done so well in the Grand Slam. He actually won his first major Grand Slam final in reaching his maiden final when he beat Daniel Medvedev. Daniel Medvedev in the Australian Open. He actually beat him right there in the Australian Open final in his maiden final, which is actually a good record for him. Winning your first Grand Slam in your maiden final is a good record, and he's actually shown class in the Grand Slams, and a lot of people have tipped him also to do more in the coming years, to be able to reach those Grand Slam finals and to be able to win other Grand Slam titles other than the Australian Open he just won. So I still see him doing great things.
And then, of course, we understand that his biggest tournaments is the Australian Open so far in his career.
Yeah, the Australian Open, yeah. He's actually reached about, will I say, 3 Australian Open semi-finals. But yeah, if I'm not mistaken, 3 Australian Open semi-finals, but he was actually knocked out in 2. And he actually reached the final in 2024 this year, which he actually won. And it's actually a big thing for himself. Winning your first Grand Slam final is something that a lot of tennis players have always want to achieve. The first is the most difficult. The first Grand Slam final you win is actually the most difficult. When you actually win, then you maintain the same momentum and experience. Then a lot of finals and ATP and Grand Slam titles will actually start coming. So winning his first Grand Slam final is actually a big achievement for him.
Impressive one. And one will ask, how many Grand Slam, tournament do you see the man winning? Because, coming up like this, everyone expects you to actually look forward to maybe equaling the record of the greats, the likes of Novak Djokovic, the likes of Rafa Nadal, Roger Federer. Everyone is tipping Jannik Sinner, of course, to be able to get to that height, looking at the fact that he's still young, age is still by his side, he still has time. He's won his first Grand Slam and aiming to maybe win another one, of course, in the future. The French Open would have actually been, the second for him, but he was being ushered out by Carlos Alcaraz at this point in time. Do you see Jannik Sinner, of course, trying as much as he can to maybe get to that height of the likes of Djokovic, Rafa Nadal, or Roger Federer in terms of Grand Slam wins?
Yeah, definitely. It's always known that when you idolize something or somebody, you actually tend to become or behave like that particular person, if not even greater than that particular person. And we've seen him making reference to Roger Federer as his idol. Yeah, and we've seen that because of that reference, he's been trying to, will I say, overcome, or he's been trying to be like Roger Federer in his performances, and even do more than Roger Federer in his performances. If he continues like this, definitely he's going to be finding himself in a lot of Grand Slam finals. But the question remains, can he be able to outplay his opponents when it comes to the big stages, as he has done so far? Can he be able to retain that momentum and form when it comes to playing in the Grand Slam finals? Because the Grand Slam finals comes with a lot of pressure and a lot of determination. If he's being able to keep his head down and work hard towards that, I see him doing great things, and I still see him winning a lot of Grand Slams for himself. Not to say that he's going to outshine the greats like Djokovic, Rafael Nadal, and even Roger Federer, but at least he's going to be up there with them.
All right, let's see how far Jannik Sinner will go in terms of winning the Grand Slam, for himself. But aside from winning the Grand Slam, let's take a look at his highest, ranking. The Italian achieved a career high ranking of world number 2 after winning the Miami Open in March 2024. His first ever, he clinched the #1 spot when the new ranking comes out on June 10, 2024, after Novak Djokovic withdrew. Prior to the Roland Garros quarterfinals, Djokovic was defending 2,000 points from his 2023 title in Paris. So he's the current world #1 now. Talking about the current world #1 in ATP is Jannik Sinner at the moment. But being at the top, being the world #1, it comes with a lot of pressure. It takes a lot for you to be able to maintain that spot for a very long time. What do you make of his world #1 attainments, and do you see him maintaining that spot for a very long time?
Yes, definitely. We know that being up there or being ranked world #1 comes with a lot of pressure and comes with a lot of criticism from fans and the rest. So he has to keep his head straight. He has to keep his head straight and remain consistent, because consistency is the key in retaining that top spot over there. Consistency is the key. We actually know that he's been consistent. That's why he's been ranked as world #1. He's been racking up those points Yeah, a lot of points that actually made him to become ranked world #1. Reaching the semi-finals, quarter-finals, winning those ATP titles is one of the major yardstick, or one of the major reason why he's being ranked this high. And he actually became the first Italian player or Italian-born tennis player to be ranked world #1, and it's actually a big achievement for himself, his family, and also his country as a whole. So it's actually a good one for Jannik Sinner.
And you think he will stay there for a very long time?
Definitely, if he retains his form and still become consistent, yeah, it's nothing so impossible. Already he's shown a lot of doubters what he can do by winning the Grand Slam titles, because a lot of people have been saying that he only wins the ATP tours and the rest, but he's actually showed his doubters that he can also win the Grand Slam title. Unfortunately for himself, he's not been in another Grand Slam final. But if he continues like this, like the way he even played in just concluded, or not just the current Roland Garros, French Open, that is participating in, the way he played, he actually played really well. Well, unfortunately for him, he was knocked out by another great tennis player in Carlos Alcaraz. If he continues like this, I still see him winning a lot of Grand Slam in the future.
You know, let's take a look at the rivalry between him and Carlos Alcaraz. A lot of persons have actually tipped both of them to be the next big thing in tennis. You know, after the departure of the likes of Roger Federer is already retired. Rafa Nadal is still on, struggling with injury. The likes of Novak Djokovic, of course, is still there, aiming to get his 25th, Grand Slam, as it is. But everyone has tipped Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner to be the next big thing in tennis. What do you make of the rivalry between both players, and how far do you see them go in the future?
Yeah, it's a good rivalry. It's a good rivalry between those two players. It's always good when you have somebody to rival you. It will actually give you that push and determination, and it's a very, very competitive and healthy rivalry. It's not as if they are fighting themselves behind closed doors or anything like that. They've been pushing themselves and encouraging themselves to do better. And it's actually good for a young tennis player when you have someone to rival you. Yes, when you have someone to rival you, and when you have an ambition, or someone that is always there to give you those headache and always there to push you, it actually make you do better and actually make you to outshine your opponents, and it actually make you to be very, very, very determined in doing great things for yourself. So I feel like that rivalry is a healthy rivalry between those two young tennis players. Unfortunately for him, Carlos Alcaraz so far has been doing better, because I think he's won about 3 or 4 Grand Slams already, if I'm not mistaken.
No, really, I think not up to 3.
Yeah, but he's actually won a Grand Slam, more than Jannik Sinner. Yeah. So, unfortunately for him, Carlos Alcaraz has been doing actually better for now, more than him. But him being ranked world #1 has a lot he has a lot to prove and a lot to show. I still see him proving his doubters wrong, and still see him winning more Grand Slam titles in the future.
Do you see them, attaining the heights of the likes of Djokovic when it has to do with, winning Grand Slam? Djokovic is on 24 Grand Slam as it stands. The likes of Roger Federer and Rafa Nadal, I think both had about 22 Grand Slam, for themselves. You see this next big thing in tennis, to say the likes of Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner getting to that height when it has to winning the Grand Slam tournament.
Yes, but I just hope they're not hampered by injuries. I just hope their career is not being hampered by injuries, because we've seen players like Andy Murray in the past, the British player that actually was doing great for himself. He actually won about 4 Grand Slam titles before his career went on a turnaround by injuries. He had so many injuries, and it was very, very difficult for him to come back into tennis and maintain that top performances he was actually known for. I just hope their career are not being hampered by injuries, and they are injury-free. If they're injury-free throughout their career, I see them doing well for themselves.
Impressive one, and what he has to do with winning the Grand Slam. Alcaraz has 2 Grand Slam for himself,
Yeah.
and the man Yannick Sinner has 1, for himself. So we'll see how far both players will be able to go, this time around. Of course, in their different, careers, a lot of expectation, from them, at the moment, and we hope they'll be able to see how maybe to form that, to fill that vacuum for the next big thing in tennis. Miracle, taking a look at the likes of Carlos Alcaraz as well. The man is in the finals of the French Open, and everyone, of course, is tipping him to get his 3rd Grand Slam.
Yes, yeah, definitely. He's been that player that a lot of people have been tipping to take over his fellow Spaniard in Rafael Nadal. A lot of people have tipped him to do great things, and he's actually 21. He's still a very, very young player, and being in that Grand Slam final is something that should be commended from Carlos Alcaraz. It's something that should be commended from Carlos Alcaraz. He's done a lot of great things for himself in playing tennis so far. He's achieved a lot, and he still has a lot to achieve in playing tennis. Being in the French Open final, a Grand Slam final, is something that should be commended from Carlos Alcaraz.
All right, away from the man Carousel, talking about Yannick Sinner, of course. No one can take his shine, of course, from this show. And talking about Yannick Sinner, coach. Yannick Sinner is currently being coached by Simeone Vagnosi and Darren Cahill. During the 2022 Grand Court season, Cahill joined the Italian team as coach. Cahill, a former world number 22, has earlier worked with Leighton Hewitt, Andrew Agassi, and Simona Halep, among others as well. So, as an experienced manager, of course, you will say, and maybe that's the reason we're saying this impressive performance from the man Yannick Sinner. Well, let's take a look at how much the man has been able to earn since playing tennis. Yannick Sinner, the most well-known Italian tennis player, has an estimated net worth of $12 million, according to publications, of course, down there for him. Since he began playing tennis, Yannick Sinner has consistently produced outstanding results, making him one of the sport's rising stars. He has played tennis since he was young, which has helped him develop good tennis skills. He currently has a prize money from tennis totaling about over $6 million. Miracle, an impressive money for the man, for Yannick Sinner so far.
Yes. He's actually earned a lot from tennis. He's actually earned a lot from tennis. We actually know that he's earned up to 21 million already as prize money from tennis, and his recent prize money that he currently just earned is about 6 million. Estimated at 6 million, and which is a great thing for himself, with a lot of sponsorship deals coming from playing tennis, a lot of other deals, and some prize money also. And he's still a young player. At his age, he's already wrapped up about 21 million from tennis already. It's actually a great thing for himself, and he'll be actually looking on getting more sponsorship deals for himself, and on racking up a lot of cash for himself also before he retires from playing professional tennis.
All right, at this point, we'll have to call it a wrap because we exhaust a lot about the man Yannick Sinner. Next week, Saturday, will be another exciting time on ATN Sports Personality Show. Do want to join us at the promise to be an exciting time as well. Talking about another sports personality on Atlantic Television Network. 6 p.m. Sports Extraordinary will come your way. Do want to join us at the promise to be an exciting world. Miracle, it's been an impressive time this morning.
Yeah, it's always good to be here to talk sports.
All right, thanks very much for joining us this morning. Don't forget, please send units over the pathways to progress. You can go to our different social media handles. Of course, the conversation continues right there. My name is Kinsley Manuel. Thanks for watching.
Telling him not to count.